What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here with a special guest, Jake Noel.
Hey, brother.
Rehab specialist. Okay, he is working with some very top-level athletes. Basically, he takes people that are broken, fixes them, but it's not just about treatment. It's not just about mobility and activation. It's also about correct patterning. Today, we did a previous video on shoulders, bench press. We want to talk now about the squat. Talk me through squat mobility, because the concept behind this is that anyone watching can do it, right? If you don't know the nature of their injury or they're just like tight, whatever, everyone can do this, right?
Yeah, at the very least, this is something that anyone can do and see a performance enhancement result.
Yeah.
So these are the most common, no matter who you are. Most likely, this is why you're tight. These are the muscles that need to become more active, that need to be strengthened.
Now, let me ask you this. What are, just quickly before we demonstrate them, what are the tight areas when it comes to squat? Like, what are basically the main culprits that limit people's mobility?
Yeah, they're really just like three major culprits, and they're all related to internal rotation of the femur. So when the thighs turn in when we squat, a little bit of that is tolerable, but none of it is ideal necessarily. Always we want to be able to keep the hips open. And so open means the femurs need to be able to spin externally during the squat. So if you find yourself in a position where your femurs have to internally rotate, we can't externally rotate, we need to open that up. That is, in short, poor glute activation.
Sure.
So again, a little bit of an oversimplification, but honestly not by a lot.
Yeah.
The femurs turn in, the glutes turn off. If we can fix that, anybody will get a result. Okay, so to start, we're gonna mobilize the hip flexors in general. Most people call it the hip flexor as though there's one, but there's more than one. There's the rectus femoris tendon, the psoas, the TFL. It doesn't really matter. We're talking about anterior hip. So we're gonna take this here ball, lay it on our stomach, okay? And we're gonna take that and we're gonna look for any area on the front hip that is sore and tender. Okay, and exactly right. When we find it, we're gonna bring that back foot up to stretch the area out, okay? And that should, sometimes if we're getting stuck without finding a good spot, we'll flex this butt cheek hard, and that kind of opens that front hip, and we'll turn this knee out a little bit, and that kind of opens it up. So from there, we can rock back and forth. We can even let go and bring it here and rock it back and forth and look for the areas that have the most tenderness, and then just hunt them down. So you're just looking for 3 to 5 spots in the front hip that has some soreness in it, and getting it to release. And when you find it, just like any myofascial release, take your time. It might be 3 to 5 minutes, it might be 7 minutes, it doesn't matter. Do not take an area and put pressure on it without making sure that you actually release it. Because if you put a bunch of pressure on an area and you don't wait long enough for it to release, you generally find yourself just pissing it off rather than actually, healing the situation. Time for glute medius. Okay, so glute medius being here on the side of the butt cheek, and it's up in the top corner. Okay, this is kind of our glute medius area. I'm gonna call it glute medius. We're gonna say glute medius and piriformis. We're talking about anything in the kind of lateral rear hip that needs to be released. It can even be the glute maximus itself, just tight at an attachment site. So the area that we're looking to release, here on the side of the butt cheek, we're gonna start up in this corner, and we're gonna sneak around all this to determine where we have some tight spots and release those with that there softball-y thing. And kick the leg over, that's right, and then bring that left knee up in the air. Yep, there you go. And we'll find something. Now, once you've found it, resist the temptation to jump off of it. This one, for me, can take 7 minutes.
Really?
If I haven't done it in a long time, yeah. If I stay on top of it, it's a quick release, just like everything else. But if I let this one go, it tends to take forever. Exactly right. And then you can also bring this leg flat out that way. And then that'll allow you to roll a little more laterally. Right, so if we need to get up into the corner of the hip and go laterally on the hip, we're able to do that. These are all basically just starting points for the rear hip.
Sure.
Anything that needs it can, and any movement pattern that helps is good. The glute medius specifically actually internally rotates the thigh. So back to that concept of internal rotation. So the glute medius internally rotates and abducts the thigh. So when we squat like this, it overloads the medius, which prevents the maximus from doing its job. And the maximus is actually literally the biggest muscle in your body. So not using it properly when you squat is not using the single biggest muscle you have to squat. Right. So that's not ideal. So it's not that the glute medius doesn't have a function, it's that it doesn't have an exclusive function. It's, I've said it this way often, the glutes are Batman, the glute medius is Robin. And you don't want them switching roles or the Joker will win. So stretching out the adductors of the inner thigh. And these are actually really probably the chief culprit when it comes to internally rotating the knees. So when I say we need to open the hips when we squat, I mean the femurs, right? We need to open up. And the chief culprit of that not happening is the adductors, the inner thighs drawing us in. So, and then sometimes the vastus medialis, which is like the quad here, but it's really mostly adductors. If the adductors are nice and open, pretty much everything works out. So adductor stretch against the wall is what Omar's gonna show us. The JCVD stretch. Yep. Omar's mobility is like Jean-Claude Van Damme, so we call this the JCVD for Omar.
So is this a pass?
Oh yeah, yes. Omar is getting a failing grade in his inner thigh mobility, right?
I just need someone to open it up, all right?
Right.
I've been looking for the right person.
Right.
So yeah, so talk me through this.
So the concept you're right. That's as good as it gets. That's all right. Let's roll the femurs open, turn the toes out like that, right? And then the idea is to get this situated like the same arch you would want when you have when you're squatting. So the same back position as a squat. There we go. Oh, this is what we call majesty in motion, Omar. Yeah, this is not the best mobility I've ever seen in my life. So we just crank in there a little bit. Go ahead and lean back on me. There you go. And that's actually the back position we want to see. We'll shoot me doing this too so you can see it when it's performed properly. There we go. Yep, there it is. Yep. Good. Very nice. Nice deep stretches, eh?
Oh, it feels amazing.
Hey. This is one that is best performed for a long ass time, like 7, 10, 12 minutes, especially in Omar's case. So if you'll see my stretch, mine is a stretch that just needs to be maintained. Omar's is a stretch that needs to be created. Yeah, he doesn't have one yet. So until he has one, we need to keep at it. So for him, he would stay here until the pain is reduced, working to get his chest more and more upright. Following that, he'd progress it just a little bit, little by little. A long duration, deep stretch of the inner thighs, in my 10 years of experience, is the very, very, very best thing.
Well, guys, that is the video, Jake. Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Dude, if you need help, actually, Jake offers, as I understand, online coaching.
That's right, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, you can find me at Reactive Training Systems, reactivetrainingsystems.com, and just ask for me as your coach, and I can repattern, correct, work with. Again, these are starting points for everybody, should help a whole bunch, but if you find yourself stuck, that's where you can get me.
Yep. That'll be the top link at the top in the description box below. I want you guys to post below also what you want to see next from Jake, because as I understand it, there's a vicious rumor that he's going to be back here in Toronto. You're visiting.
Yeah.
Just things, worlds collided, worked out beautifully.
Yep.
But it'll be happening, so post below what you want to see. You're at the end of the video now. If you like the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace!